Alright, extras, hello, hello. Update 47.2 just dropped, and I'm gonna try to do a one take of this one, because it's gonna be a pretty quick turnaround, as again, I'm gonna have this plan to come up today. But this patch fixes Rogue Legends, and I mean it for real. So I'm gonna go over everything with you guys and explain why I think Rogue is in a very, very good spot now. Because I looked at these changes, and I like them. So, first off, let's go past all the fixes. Those are nice and all. Some performance issues that I haven't tested if it's been fixed yet. But, I mean, I guess let's hope so. But, let's talk about the balance. They did some balance changes, and one of them is to the rounds. Remember, last time? They said that they reduced the amount of rounds you play by 30%. Don't mind the boss in the background, by the way. But they reduced the amount of rounds played by 30%, but I said it won't actually feel like 30% time saved. In fact, it might even be 0 or take more time because they made it so that you end up scaling rounds faster. However, that I think is actually changed now. So they said again, they reduced the number of rounds by another 1/3, but this change is much different, or much better, because the end round is now scaling by 1 less every tile completed, so same as last time. I think instead, it was starting round +2, ending round +4 after every tile. Now it's +3 after every tile, which is huge, because this means taking the longest path is no longer so bad, because before, let's say you played 15 encounters, then the amount of rounds played would up by 30 by the end, whereas now it would just be up by 15. So they show you some examples here. Stage 1 tile 9 is 8 rounds shorter. Stage 3 tile 9 is 10 rounds. And stage 5, who wants to do some math for me? 12 rounds. 12 rounds shorter. Oh, so sorry, I guess I have to get a Dart Baragon to survive this. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that aside, I can't one-take this, guys. I'm bad at being a YouTuber. Now, obviously, the rounds are still much later, it seems, especially in Endless mode. I haven't played this patch in Endless yet, but I have a feeling the difficulty is actually going to scale pretty well now, if we're talking about at least in terms of the rounds. Because if Stage 5 is already 8 rounds later, then we're gonna get into some deep rounds very quickly. But while also skipping a lot of the early game rounds, because you see, look at the starting round is crazy high now, 46, which is good. There's no need to pay round 26, 54. That's just a complete waste of time. So I think it's genuinely going to be much less time per Red Balloon encounter. So that's like by far the biggest change. I love it. How about the other ones? People complained about rest tile recruiting, not allowing you to back out. Ninja Kiwi changed it for the time being. They're not sure if they should keep that thing, because it was always their intention to only allow you to pick once. Additionally, race tiles are scaled. That's something I talked about earlier, and I'm glad they made that change. Speaking of, as I said earlier, endless chimps being tougher, this is a really, really big change. Balloon health will slightly increase for all tiles each stage for even more free play challenge. And to show you why it's so broken, give me a second here. Or why this is good, is because, let's find this post here, made by TSB. So TSB is one of my fellow, I guess, friends, and he is currently on stage 32 of Endless mode, and it was very easy. Red Balloon counters were basically a joke in 47.1, but look now. Apparently, the scaling at stage 32 is 1,300% HP, and he says it's impossible. Like, the game is done at this point, which I think is fair. You shouldn't trivially... Actually, it wasn't trivial, but I don't think you should get that far in the first place. Stage 32. The difficulty apparently was in the final bosses. and not really the red blue encounters, but now I think the red blue encounters actually scale with the difficulty in general because of the increased RAM and mob HP. I don't know how much the percentages are exactly for a more reasonable stage, because nobody in their right mind will actually get to 32, even in 47.1. Also, I need to beat this last... Oh god, I don't have enough content. How are we in tier 5 already? Sorry, I gotta not fast forward. Oops. That's my bad. That's my bad. Let's not fast forward. And let's just play it from here. Wing Monkey. Okay, but in general, yeah, I think it's fixed now. I think it's actually gonna be really fun. Endless chimps actually feeling more difficult as everything scales up now. Because like before, especially the very first blue encounters were a joke. Because you get cake rounds like 18 to 32 or something like that by the time your towers do hypersonic damage. But now if those rounds have like 400% HP, then yeah, it could be interesting. But on top of that, artifacts have been changed, a lot of them. Mostly number changes, because they obviously don't have enough time to do like crazier changes. But I like what I see in a lot of these here. Are they perfect changes? Yes, Ninja Kiwi's the perfect. Yes, Ninja Kiwi did everything perfectly, and they're the best game company ever. In all seriousness, they're not perfect, but they're great. Because a lot of these artifacts I looked were just flaming hot garbage. Flaming hot Puncharang, it was okay. I guess it needed a buff. But some were, yeah, okay. This is, I'm really glad they changed. Because at a common, it was actually a nerf to your tower. Like to the Sniper Monkey. Which is still a joke. Because, again, they buffed this before 47 actually came out. So in beta testing, this shit was even worse. I'm not kidding. Yeah. If I'm looking at through all of these, I agree. I didn't like a lot of these. Okay, a couple of them were decent. Esoteric was decent, I think, but they buffed it. Sure, why not? But for the most part, yeah. A lot of these needed buffs, and I'm glad they covered them. Apparently, these are all the changes you're going to do up to 48. So you have to wait another month for, I guess, changes to Rogue. But again, I think they hit the nail on the head, given they only had 1 week to really turn around Rogue. So, if, like, I feel like the comment section is always usually more negative, compared to the, I don't know, average. I guess you could say that for any media platform. If you go to any comment section, on Twitter, yes, I'm dead naming it, Twitter, Reddit, YouTube comments, it does more often focus on the negative than the positive. Like, even, obviously, like, my video was, my previous one, covering 47.1 was, I did talk about complaints for the most part, but I did say at the end that, you know, I have hope for all that, and all that, but yeah, all the comments were, fairly, negative about Rogue, but I hope to see it change this time, or, I don't know, keep talking shit about it. But if you ask me if Rogue is worth getting now, yes, I mean it this time. I'm not just, again, saying that, so use code ISAB in the shop, which, again, I would appreciate very much so. And if I was doing it, just so, you know, if I was going to lie to you and say that the game mode is worth getting just to use code ISAB, then, yeah, I would have done that at the start, wouldn't I? Rather than, you know, not know whether or not they would ever change Rogue for the better, or rather, it might take a long time. And then, yeah, not, like, just have less people use my code. I do mean it this time. Again, I haven't played, but on paper, these changes sound really good. And if they don't sound good, then please let me know why. Oh, yeah, I even forgot to mention, they're thinking about reducing the amount of stages total, 5 to 4. So, the main complaint, I didn't really care too much, but the main complaint is that all 5 stages took too damn long, so why not drop it to 4, NK is saying. Personally, I feel like reducing the amount of RB encounters is already a huge time cut. So, I personally, like, I don't really care. These changes are good enough for me. But if it helps people enjoy the game because a whole run is shorter now, then I am all for it. Yeah, and I'm all for doing more Rogue. Not really much more to say, so I'll just end this game off. Finish Elite Blast Poopolis. Yeah, thanks for watching. Again, use code ISAB if you haven't. If I sound a bit off, then that's because my nose is a bit sniffy. Too much Coke, I guess. I'll be fine, though. I think that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna have you here for 15 more seconds so I can milk some more watch time. Milk. How about 20 seconds, actually? The 5 seconds will definitely matter. Actually, okay, one more change. I'm not just milking. I forgot to go over some specific ones. This one. Tiles can now be skipped for 1 life. This is actually OP for speedruns, which I honestly, they look interesting. I kind of want to do them, but the thing is, I can't start a new campaign when I'm already in, like, stage, like, endless mode. You can't play 2 campaigns at once, which sucks. I would have liked if there was a way to do that, aside from, you know, buying Rogue on 2 accounts, which maybe I'll do, I don't know. Code ISAB could use Rogue. But yeah, that's huge, because even if after this change, you think there's too many Red Bloom counters, well, just freaking skip them and use your campfires to heal. Because before, it used to cost you 2 lives. 2 lives, because you had to fail the Red Bloom to be able to get the skip button, which costs another life, so yeah, this halves that amount. So pretty huge, if you don't care about collecting artifacts. And yeah, that's it. I made it for real this time. My nose is acting up at me, so thanks for coming out. Or watching. This is not a stream. Check out for Rogue coming on the main channel very soon. As you see, I'm on stage 9 already, but yeah. Stay tuned for stage 5 to 6 coming on the main. Subscribe to extras. Peace.